Hello there everybody, welcome to another Star Wars Dojo YouTube video. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 6 just came out, and it was a pretty interesting episode. Some really good things I like, some things I'm like, meh, but I'm gonna get into the breakdown and give my overall thoughts at the end, so I'll see you guys in the breakdown. The episode opens up with a Quarren ship flying in space when we see a member aboard the crew feed the female leader a fish in her tank when she is suddenly alerted that there is an Imperial cruiser tailing them. The Quarren captain, Captain Shuggoth, asks them what is the issue, and the Imperial ship is being piloted by a bunch of Mandalorians. The same Mandalorians that were with Bo-Katan. Mandalorians tell the Quarren that they are individuals for hire and cannot be bought to go away because they are loyal to their contractors that pay them for various jobs. He explains that he is there to track them and he was hired by Mon Calamari Viceroy to get back her son, whom she has allegedly taken. The captain says that that is a lie and her people in the Calamari have suffered too much for war, and the Mandalorian says that he knows that this was for love and not for war. He just has to take him back so he can finish his job. The Mon Calamari runs out from behind, abruptly confessing that he won't go and he won't leave and that he loves Captain Shuggoth. We get a weird long scene with one wanting to stay and the other telling the other to leave, and it was kind of cringy, but the Mandalorians finally come in and take him away. The scene changes when we see Bo-Katan's ship. We see her ship fly into this random planet in the Outer Rim. She sees her old fleet taking camp outside in the plains. They are cruising past the city when suddenly her ship is taken over and remotely being forced to land. They land and they are introduced by two Imperial droids. Din asks Bo, why are there Imperial droids on this independent world? And Bo says it's because they are in the Outer Rim and there are no rules to oblige by. They are then told to show their identity, and we see the cool little chain codes on their wrists like we saw in the Book of Boba Fett to essentially show their identity. It was pretty cool. They get off the train and then they're greeted to a dinner party full of different species, and then we see Jack Black and Lizzo. They greet them and ask them to come sit down and have a drink. Jack's character then explains that he was a facilities planning officer during the war, and he says thanks to the New Republic Amnesty program that he was able to rebuild Plaza 15, which would explain why they have Imperial droids everywhere. We have to take notice at the servers in the back and that they are all wearing stormtrooper armor with robes on. And then we also got to take notice at Jack's character. He's wearing the same badge on his robes that we see in all the previous New Republic people wear, and they all didn't turn out to be good people so far, so it seems like a hidden evil group of elitists or something. Anyway, Lizzo's character wants to hold Grogu for some reason and bribes him with a fish, and he jumps in her lap. They get up and they're asking Mando and Bo for help with their droid problem, despite literally having Bo's old crew as their defense security. But they discuss that some droids have gone rogue and need help capturing them. They say that their law enforcement don't have the means to capture these rogue battle droids. Yes, battle droids. They say that they have been rehabilitated for civic duty. Bo says that the other Mandalorians can take quick work of these droids, and why are they not using them? Lizzo's character says that because of their laws that no armed forces are allowed to come within the city limits. Mando then explains that they are armed and they got in, and Jack's character says it's because they are Mandalorians and that would infringe on their religious beliefs because weapons are the Mandalorians' religion. Literally, as there's a whole army of Mandalorians outside. I don't get it. Anyways, they agree to help them, and the scene cuts to Christopher Lloyd with Bo and Mando showing them footage of the droids going haywire. He says that they have a kill switch for all the droids, but they can't press it because the people voted to not turn off the droids because the droids do all the work in the city and everything would perish because nobody knows how to run the city like the droids do. Bo and Mando enter a shop where all the droids are being rebuilt by Queel, and Bowen is unable to get their attention until Mando speaks up and says that he is friends with Ugnaught Queel. The Queel mechanics look up and are willing to help. After some time, they give him a tracker to find the rogue battle droids. The scene changes and we see a bunch of old separatist battle droids from the prequels, and it's really cool to see them again in live action, and it's just awesome. They are loading containers onto a vessel. Bo and Mando arrive, and the droids tell them to leave or to show them their IDs that allow them to be there. The droid tells the Mando that he should not bother the super battle droids because their base function was warfare. Mando begins kicking super battle droids around and explains that if they're really reprogrammed, that they won't fight back. He kicks another one down and it swings a fast punch at Mando's helmet, sending him flying. The battle droid flees away running very fast, faster than we've ever seen battle droids ever move before. This could be because of the haywireness in their systems or something. We see Din and Bo chasing this 600-pound running back of a super battle droid through alleyways and streets before Din jumps through a window and frickin' linebacker tackles the droid to the ground, and then Bo shoots it from behind, destroying it. Bo and Din find a tag on the droid leading it to the droid bar where all the droids went silent when they walked in. They are told that most of the droids there date back to the Separatist age and are given a second chance here and are rebuilt by humans so they care for them. So they essentially like people. They sit down with the droid and explains that the droids are given a fluid that repairs their programming from being easily corrupted. They get fluid from the most recent malfunctioning droid to test it. They find the reprogramming particles are definitely present in the droid. As the little assistant medical droid goes haywire, shooting lasers everywhere, Din then slices it in half with the darksaber, destroying the droid. They look further into the particles and find out there are nano droids inside the fluid when they see a chain code on the nano droid. They search the code and it led back to being delivered by Christopher Lloyd's character. Bo and the Mando confront Christopher about his crimes, and he stands up threatening to hit the red button that will shut down the droids to their factory setting and unleash chaos on everyone on the planet. He admits to committing the crimes when Bo unfolds that he is a separatist. He explains his admiration for Count Dooku and how his vision for the world was so perfect. Then goes to speak about Dooku being killed by Anakin when Bo shoots a taser at him, knocking him down. They bring him into custody in front of the king and queen. Jack and Lizzo's characters are very surprised that he would have anything to do with the crimes. Christopher says that he doesn't like the king, and Lizzo stands up for Jack, defending the fact that he is a new man. She sends him into exile for the rest of his days. Christopher wishes that he be forgiven one day. The queen gives Bo and Mando the key to the city and are ranked at the highest honor, and then she knights Grogu as a knight for Plaza 15, even though he didn't do anything. Bo, Din, and Grogu leave to go to the Mandalorian camp so Bo can reclaim her fleet, when she is told that her fleet has a new commander and that she will need to get through him first. So she challenges him to a duel for leadership. They end up doing a cool fight scene and Bo ends up coming on top. The man tells her that she will never be the true leader because she doesn't have the darksaber. When Din speaks up and says that she defeated the capturer that captured him in the mines of Mandalore, and he says, wouldn't she be the rightful owner of the darksaber? Which is probably why we kept seeing Din struggle to use the saber when he was fighting with it, because he never truly earned it, whereas Bo used it flawlessly. The Mandalorians agree that it would be hers, and the Mando hands her the darksaber as she ignites it and poses. And that is the end of the episode. So overall, I'd probably give that episode maybe a 5 out of 10. The only things I really enjoyed were seeing the battle droids and hearing the camera guy talk about Count Dooku and seeing the Bo-Katan fight with the other Mandalorian. And I'm kind of confused why, Mando didn't just give Bo the darksaber earlier. And realistically, there's no reason for Jack Black or Lizzo to be in the show. I mean, Jack Black can at least act, and he has a good, range of character he can play, whereas Lizzo can't really act at all, and it really threw me out of this episode. And there was no reason for her to be in the show other than trying to gain a new audience. And it's the whole reason why George Lucas didn't want Michael Jackson playing Jar Jar, because it would throw away from the actual story that is being told. And I completely stand behind that 100%. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing, big actors in shows like this that have a purpose for being there. I wish they kind of gave Jack Black and Lizzo maybe like a different character. Because, Jack Black does an amazing job at acting and he has a good range. Whereas Lizzo, she kind of just, I could tell she doesn't have very much acting experience, and I feel like, somebody else would have done a better job at filling that specific role, or maybe she would have been better with a different character, I don't know. But, other than that, it was a pretty good episode. I hope the last 2 episodes get better. We'll see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, please subscribe, please tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed the video, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next breakdown, and may the Force be with you always.